had two gentlemen in the queue. Torrey Johnson, Big T, and none other than my brother from another mother, Bucko Bruce, a.k.a. I won't say his government name. Bucko, what's going on?
Man, living the dream. Happy to be here. As we know, big divisional round matchup between the Bucs and the Saints. One of the representative teams is here. The other isn't. The other guy? I'll let y'all speculate as you will as to the cowardice or lack thereof or whatever. I'm here, and I'm confident. Where's the Saints fan? Where are they at? This divisional round has not been kind to them. I think we got a little timidness on his part.
All that talk behind the scenes, all the talk on
right?
Oh my goodness. We get back to this. I'm not sure what to say here, but Bucko, is good. It's always good to see you. Before we even get into it, how's the family doing?
Man, blessed beyond what I deserve. Those that know me know I mean every bit of that when I say it. The kids are still wide open. If they bust in the studio, y'all just got to live with that. But bedtime used to be a 9 o'clock thing, but here we sit at 9:20 and it's still not happening. So
they're running hard. They're running hard. Oh, who we got in the queue? I mean, who we got chatting it up? We got Peter from the Happs team. Peter from the community side. I got it. I must tell you, Happs does a great job as always.
I'm a fan of the format. You guys actually.
I am a huge fan of the format. Got to tell you, big shout out to Bannerman. Bannerman is also in the building. A lot of people talking NFL tonight, I tell you that much. I just let my man Mike Patton show. He was giving it sounded more like a post-mortem on the Tennessee Titans.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, when I'm looking at a game that I predicted to have as much offense as I expected, when I'm looking at the second quarter, Derrick Henry has 12 carries for 24 yards. I said, yeah, this is over. This ain't going to work. So the Tennessee Titans have had two unexpected, very successful seasons. Hopefully losing Arthur Smith to likely the Falcons doesn't hinder their progress. But, I mean, even though you don't get to win, you've had two very good years and you have something to build upon. So don't be so drub about it.
Do you want to go into the fact that last week's games, I think you guys were like 5 of 6?
No, we both missed Cleveland and we both missed what was the other game we missed?
LA, the Rams, and Seattle.
Rams, yeah. Rams. So out of 6 games, we went 4-2. Any guy in Vegas and any handicapper will take that percentage. Me personally, I'm a little let down by it. Let me just say, Ben Roethlisberger, go ahead and hang them cleats up, Bubba. It's time. It's over for you. And it costs a lot of people some money. And I see Bannerman saying Bills Mafia. Bills Mafia did not disappoint, but you made it a lot closer than I thought you would.
It was a lot closer than what it should have been.
Yeah, it made it a lot. Made it pretty uncomfortable there for a minute. But they still did their thing, man, and I still expect them to advance to the next round as well. But we'll get into that later.
So I guess we could do a quick rundown of last week. What team disappointed you the most last week?
Oh, the Chicago Bears, without question. My love for the Bucs is rivaled secondly for my hatred for the Saints. So my second favorite team is always whomever's playing the Saints. The biggest actual disappointment, despite my fandom, it has to be Ben Roethlisberger and those Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, I don't know stat guys, numbers guys are going to come at me. He threw 500 yards, most completions ever in a playoff game, most yards ever in a playoff game, threw 4 touchdowns. But anyone that watched the game saw that in that first half, first quarter in specific, he was dreadful, absolutely awful. Couldn't do anything. Snap goes over his head, touchdown out the gate. Throwing picks to guys like MJ Stewart. Look, the Bucs have not had a good secondary in close to 20 years now. And if we're releasing a cornerback because he's not any good, he's not any good. And MJ Stewart for the Cleveland Browns is getting interceptions off of Big Ben. That is a huge disappointment. I know Pittsburgh Steeler Nation has got to be extremely, extremely disappointed. But, the Bears really suck. Mitch Trubisky is awful.
So I want to throw something out to you. And you tell me if this makes sense or not, because I'm a fan. You're the guru, okay? I would like to see the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New York Jets conduct a trade and send Sam Darnold to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's trading for Darnold, especially being this is last year of his deal coming up, right? The Jets.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're not going to trade much capital for a guy that is only under contract for the 1 year. So for one, you're not going to get much in return for a guy that has been as inconsistent as Sam Darnold. For two, I'm pretty sure unless Ben retires, they have to pay that man $41 million.
Whew.
And I'm talking that's if they cut him or otherwise. That all that money they're on the hook for is like prorated bonuses and cap restructuring, things of that nature. So to my knowledge, I'm not a cap expert, but to my knowledge, unless that man retires, they are on the hook for the full $41 million. And you're not going to trade for a quarterback who I think Sam Darnold's only going to make somewhere to the tune of like $8 million. It's not like it's a large number. But you're not going to have $50 million tied up at one position, especially when you have – obviously they have deficiencies. They can't run the ball. Worth a damn. That's been shown all year, and especially in that playoff game. Outside of rushing the passer well, they really don't do much else very good on defense. Having Minka Fitzpatrick and Hilton and some of the guys they have on defense, they really have been giving up way too much in the air for my liking. So they got some holes they got to fill, man. And trading for Sam Darnold, I don't deem that a wise decision unless Ben Roethlisberger retires. Then they can get some cap relief in that regard. So if you're saying hypothetically, retire, and you can get Darnold for say a second round pick, absolutely, you can go over that. Or even Carson Wentz is unhappy there in Philly. There's another guy.
I've never been sold on Wentz.
Me neither.
Because I haven't actually seen him do anything.
Well, that 1 year in 2018, he was on a miraculous run. I think he had 28 touchdowns versus 2 picks.
Then he got hurt.
Running a touchdown in. He was on pace to be the league MVP, to set records at that position. But outside of that 1 year, and I think it has to do with a statue erected of his backup quarterback instead of him, I think it mentally skewed the kid because he's got the talent, man. I mean, he won national titles at North Dakota State. He came in out the gate, the whole button the tie up, business as usual type stuff. I liked his swagger. I liked his confidence. After that knee injury and after Nick Foles won the Super Bowl, it seems like his confidence just went in the toilet. And obviously, he didn't have the support of his coaching staff, given the turmoil that happened in this season, and henceforth Doug Peterson getting fired. But I think there's a couple of guys that would take on Carson Wentz. More specifically, these Indianapolis Colts that just lost. They got a little bit of cap money to deal with. Phillip Rivers is retiring. Jacoby Brissett's contract, I think, is up. Why not? They have the ability to pay Carson Wentz's salary, give a couple of mid-round picks, and go get Wentz out of Philly, and Carson Wentz and company. Indy could be a very good team again. So there are some options out there, man. It's just we can get into that when the season's over. I know typically this time of year, as a Buck fan, I'm talking off-season stuff already. But damn it, Teddy, I'm still talking playoff football.
All right, let's talk a little playoff football. Let's run it through. Wait, But before we talk playoff football, help me out. I hear about this guy every other year. He's retiring. He has medical issues. He's going to the booth. He's doing this. Urban Meyer going to the Jags. Are you a fan of Urban Meyer or not?
No. Plain and simple. As a Florida State fan, anyone who coached the state of the University of Florida, you cannot be a fan of them. It's bylaws. It's underwritten in our contract. Do I respect the man? Absolutely. The guy, he took Bowling Green to a bowl game. He goes to Utah, had them undefeated, made Alex Smith the number 1 pick, won a BCS bowl game with them, goes to Florida. I believe after the Ron Zook era, they were in the toilet, like a 4-win football team, turned them into perennial championship contenders, 1-2. Then he, all of a sudden, Tebow, Hernandez, all those guys are gone. And he's like, oh, all of a sudden I have heart problems. I think the dude is a shyster. I think he's shady, but I also think he's very smart. And I think there is no better person to build a winner. Now, if you want longevity, if you want like a 10, 12-year run out of this guy, you're not going to get it.
Okay.
Come in here in 3 years, he's going to coach some good football. He's going to build you a good football team. Then he's going to set it up for someone else to come in.
Okay.
So for Jacksonville, I think it's the perfect setup. Now, do I like the guy as a man? No. But I respect him as a football coach and a talent evaluator. And for a team that has 11 draft picks and a guy that can handle multiple personalities, that old joke, they had a racist, a murderer, and a preacher walking into a bar. And he was able to handle all of those personalities there and win championships. So I think the dynamic of the turnover that they're going to have, he can, be a good candidate there to get that program going in the right direction. But I wouldn't expect more than 3 years out of him.
All right, let's jump into this. LA at Green Bay. I didn't see LA advancing last week.
No.
I mean, is this going to be a total beatdown? What's your take on this, Bucko?
Total beatdown, no, because what the season has shown us and what last week showed us, that defense is formidable. They are playoff caliber. Now, I know Donald got banged up, and when he did try to come back in, he was not effective at all. So I still take 80% Aaron Donald over damn near every defensive player in the league. So I'm not worried per se about the defense, but one thing we've seen out of Aaron Rodgers and his Green Bay Packers is they can be dynamic. They can be game plan specific and mix up their offense. If they can, unlike what Seattle did, if they can be patient, stick to the short game, stick to the screen game, take the underneath stuff, take what they give you, yeah, I think they can beat the Rams easy because I am not worried about Jared Goff at all. Jared Goff was, 40% completion. They ran the ball for, I think, 70 yards total. Their offense is not going to move the needle. But if they can confuse and mess up Aaron the way they did Russell, that was the worst game I've ever seen Russell Wilson play, Ted. He was really high on this kid since he got drafted in the 3rd round. We were really high on him way back then, and this is the worst game I've ever seen him play. So you have to say that Rams defense did that to him. So we've seen Aaron Rodgers when he plays tough defenses. We've seen him, kind of fold a bit, especially in the playoffs here. You got Jalen Ramsey locking up Devontae Adams, and then you got who else are you relying on at wide receiver? Are you relying on Marquez Valdez-Scantling? I'm not. Alan Lazard has shown he's a tough guy, but he's not really a matchup problem. It's really going to come down to a screen game with Aaron Jones, Robert Tonyan in the seam against those linebackers. That is the matchup. I think the Packers win. But after what I saw last Saturday, I am not surprised if this defense is good enough to beat them.
Do they cover the spread?
The number is what, 5.5?
Yeah.
I'm going to say no. I would take the points with the Rams, and I would bet the under. Heavy under on this game.
Hey, I want to give a big.
I think it's like 20-13 at the most.
Okay.
At the closest, like 17-13. You know what I mean? So it can go of the spread. I don't think they win by a touchdown. I think it's more of a field goal 4-point game because that Rams defense is playing at a high level.
Want to give a big shout out to Banner Man. He's in the queue and he's talking about he has the Rams winning. Donald's a beast. He think LA wins, Tampa beats LA and Cali. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves. He said Tampa in the Super Bowl.
If that happens, the game will be in Tampa, not in Cali.
Okay.
So I like the way he's thinking. I like where his head is at. But for clarity, that would be a home game for us, and then a home game in the Super Bowl. So that would be my ideal scenario, but not likely, I think.
He states also Packers' only home field advantage is the cold weather.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the majority of their team is not from there. Jared Goff, Southern California kid. The majority of the guys they have are, of Southern nature. But, dude, this is playoff football. I don't care if it's 12 degrees or 112. The intensity is going to be brought. From what I read on the initial weather report, there's no expectations of snow. It's just going to be cold. And, once that whistle blows, I promise you, those guys don't feel that cold on their skin. They're just trying to win their job, win their assignment. And I've never been a big proponent of that unless it's like rain or snow or absolute miserable conditions. Then I give somebody the edge. But there's no fans in the stands. Communication is not going to be a problem. It's just, are you tough enough mentally and physically to handle the cold? And I have no doubt that these professionals are going to be fully prepared for that.
Next game is the Ravens at the Bills. Mm-hmm. We got Bills Mafia. I want to, before you get started, I stand corrected. I said I was sitting here saying last week, Democratic governor, no fans in the stadium. Totally wrong. I blew that one. But it's like it kind of goes against conventional wisdom. If you look around, only Republican governors are for the most part having fans in the stands.
I mean, even some with Republican governors, the Saints are, Louisiana, very red state. They're not allowing any to my knowledge. But I read a press clipping right before we did the show last week, and it said that they were pushing for allowing up to 6,000 fans. And I said to you guys that I'm pretty sure they're gonna have like 6,000 fans there.
Right.
And y'all dismissed me on that, made me think I was wrong.
No, the only reason I dismissed you because King Cuomo comes out every week and tells you how it's going to be.
Yeah. Hey, man, if that guy was as important as he thought he was, I think we'd be in trouble. But needless to say, it was one hell of a football game last week. Those fans deserve it.
They do.
That I can imagine. Great game to watch. Very, very entertaining first game of the year as far as the playoffs. I enjoyed every minute of it. I think the Bills got jobbed on that fumble call at the end of it, but it didn't matter because they didn't score anyway. But
much closer than what it needed to be, Bucko.
It did. And this week coming up, they're talking about snow in Buffalo. And typically, if you have a power run game, like let's say you're the Tennessee Titans and you're running what they like to run, a snow game is perfect for you. What the Ravens run with a lot of quick motion, RPOs, quick cutbacks, counter, that speed and those quick cuts are negated in a snowy, wet field. So I actually think this weather gives the Bills a chance. It slows the run game down just a little bit because we know that the Bills' run game is the weakness of their defense. Their secondary is lights out, very good, can play with anybody. Baltimore, we're not really looking for Baltimore to beat anyone in the air game, but if Buffalo can score on that defense the way they're capable of scoring, and you make Lamar have to pass in this terrible 20-some-odd degree snowy weather, it's going to be a damn blowout. It's not even going to be close. But, if I give an initial prediction on this game, I'm going to say somewhere 27-20 Buffalo, somewhere in that range.
Wow. Okay. I thought you were going to give a little bit wider. I could see like maybe 34-23 or.
I would, I would love to because of the way they score. But when I watched that defense do what they did to Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill and company, that defense came to play.
Gotcha.
They came to play, and I doubt very seriously they play lesser this week. They're going to probably play even harder. They're playing back-to-back weeks, the two top scoring offenses in the whole NFL. So if my understanding of watching Baltimore's defense play, you're going to see a closer game, a touchdown game. And if someone gets in the 30s, I will be surprised, especially in that weather.
We got Jerry Miller chiming in. Jerry, thanks for joining this session. Jerry says Bills 35-17.
Yeah, and that's what on a sunny day in September,
right?
You put the two teams together. Yeah, it's a track meet, and I don't think Baltimore can keep up with the way Buffalo scores. But again, Buffalo's defense last week against Tennessee, and then this last 3 weeks of Baltimore's defense with that have to win to get in mentality they've been playing with, they have looked every bit the formidable defense we thought they'd be. Now, the 6 weeks or so prior to that, they were average. They were not dominant at all. So that's why they put themselves in that position to have to win to get in. But now they got the mode going. They've been in playoff mode for 3 weeks, Ted. They're rolling. I don't think Buffalo is going to have the output just like what we saw against Indy. I had the thought that they were going to score 30 against Indy, but Indy, being the defense they are, held them down to where it was at. So I'm thinking the same amount of points scored for Buffalo, but I'm giving the nod to Buffalo's defense that they hold the Ravens to only 20.
Okay. And I'm probably wrong. I'm going to say the least competitive game this weekend is Cleveland at Kansas City. I'm probably going to be wrong.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. So Cleveland's playing with house money, brother. That they got a 10-win season. They won a playoff game they had no business winning in Pittsburgh. Hats off to them and their fan base. They deserve every bit of joy that they have right now. But like Chase Claypool said the other day, it will be short-lived. Even though he's a sucker for that, they're going to get destroyed. They have no chance in this game. I mean, I honestly think Pat Mahomes puts up 42. This is 42-23 written all over it. They're going to beat the brakes off of this team.
I want to deviate for a quick second before we get to the premier game of the weekend. So do you see Eric Bieniemy staying, or is he definitely out of there? I mean, because just Bucko, you football guru, your offensive coordinator, you got Andy Reid to the left of you, you got Pat Mahomes to the right of you, you got tons of weapons. Do you sit there and live out this dynasty, or do you step out on your own?
Well, that question is very simply answered. How many of you remember the assistant coaches from these dynasties?
It's true.
This guy, it was a prideful man. He's a winner. He wants to do it on his own. Now, honestly, you take the tutelage you've gotten in the organizations you've been a part of, and you take and you build on that and make it your own. But there's no man that says, I'm happy to be a coordinator just so I can keep running. No, you want to go out and do your own thing. Now, the thing that shocks me with a guy like Bieniemy, even though, yes, his team's still alive, so you can't hire him just yet anyway, but the fact that the media doesn't have a lot of traction on him, period. Like, I'm hearing Arthur Smith to the Falcons. We just saw Urban Meyer to the Jags. We're talking about the Jets are probably already the front runner for Doug Peterson. No one is talking about Bieniemy being their front runner. The Chargers, the Texans, teams that we thought, hell, the Texans just interviewed him yesterday. I don't know if it took them too long, but I'm wondering, because I know I don't want to put any bad information out there, but to my knowledge, 3 or 4 years ago or so, he had an incident like a domestic violence or something or another. And I wonder if that little blip on his personal record is causing some pause. This is information I saw for Twitter, so take it at face value. I'm not quoting this as accurate, but I want to say that there's something prohibiting teams from making that jump because he's been there, been primed and ready for 3 years, and he hasn't gotten the love. I wonder if we're just hyping a guy that NFL teams aren't really interested in. I don't know. But I think he'd be great in Houston or San Diego, LA.
Okay. So the game of the week, you got the Bucks, you got the Saints. If I had, two other guys on here that were Saints fans, I would say Aints because I'm rolling with the Bucks on this one.
You're damn right, Teddy. You're a smart man. You know a good bandwagon to hitch to. You did it for the Seahawks and they won it.
I'm not betting. Listen,
if I ever go to the game to bet on the ponies, I'm taking you with me. You pick a good horse to hit your
The way they got spanked on, I don't know what it was, a Sunday night or Thursday night football.
No way. Sunday night football was absolutely what it was. That team came out 100% flat. We had injuries. I think Godwin had a broken finger and surgery and things of that nature. And I think we were missing our left guard, Ali Marpet. We had a whole amalgam of issues. We were still dealing with inconsistencies. Antonio Brown, his first game on the field. There was a whole bunch of stuff that went wrong early in that game, and we never got our traction. If Saints fans and Saints players are beholden to that Week 9 performance and thinking that's what they're going to see Sunday afternoon, I'm glad because I promise you this is not the same team they beat the brakes off of. We're going to come out ready. Bannerman got your back, Ted. He don't know the history.
He don't know. Bannerman, I'm telling you, I go way back with Bucko Bruce.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
Yes,
but no,
yes.
I honestly feel like the Saints are a good team. That defense is number 2 in the league for a reason. They're playing, I think, above their skis. I don't think they're as talented as they're playing. They get away with a lot of calls. They get away with murder. It seemed like every penalty was against the Bears in that game. A lot of trash talking, a lot of taunting, and they get a lot of teams to react and get personal fouls against them. They did it to us. They did it to the Bears. They're good at what they do. But they're so very beatable. And this divisional round, has caught them, 3 or 4 years in a row now? Twice to Kirk Cousins.
Yes.
So you're telling me Kirk Cousins can do it, but Tom Brady can't? I'm going to tell you you're crazy. We are clicking and playing at a level that I have never seen a Bucs team play. 5 straight games of over 30 points. Defense – opportunistic. Yeah, they're playing a little too soft on the zone for my liking, but I have a big feeling that changes this week. You'll see a lot of 2-man under, a lot of pressure, a lot of changing up the scheme. You won't see conventional Todd Bowles zone defense. I promise that.
So, in essence, what you're saying to me is we're going to have Green Bay, Tampa Bay, and Buffalo and Kansas City next week.
Well, I'm hoping Bannerman or whoever it was that said it that got the Rams. Look, I would love nothing more than the Rams to win this game.
It's an easier opponent for you.
Well, not necessarily easier opponent, just being at home and not being in the cold. And Aaron Rodgers or Jared Goff.
Jared Goff.
Pick Aaron Rodgers. I mean, honestly, I think that the way our two teams are built, we match up well against the Packers. Our speed on defense to go along with what they try to do. And then our offensive line, again, that D-line, they won't touch Brady. I honestly think we could pick them apart very easily. I just don't want to face them again, just like our situation where the Saints beat the brakes off of us. We beat them by 35 points when they were undefeated. And, Aaron Rodgers was the god at that point. We picked him off twice and really destroyed him. That's going to resonate in their brain, and they're going to come out a little bit hotter. I don't want to play the Packers. I think we got to handle business against these Saints. This right here is our Super Bowl. I think these are the 2 best teams in the NFC. I think both teams can win next week. Whoever wins this game, I think, is a representative. But I'm going to pick my team. You think I'm going to say we're going to lose? Come on.
No, I'm not saying you're going to lose, but I'm thinking you're peaking very early if you're saying the divisional round is your Super Bowl. Come on,
dude. I don't think the Rams could beat the Saints or the Bucks with the way that they have their injuries and the way that they're playing right now on offense. I don't think they can score with either one. Just like I don't think they can score with the Packers. That's why I have the Packers winning. And I don't think that Green Bay can match the physicality that the Saints are playing with right now. They're more of a finesse team, and I think the Saints will hit them in the mouth and kind of mess up what they're doing. So, yeah, honestly, I think that these are the two best teams in the NFC right now.
Okay. All right. Listen, Bucko, we did this in just over 30 minutes. Just over. I think we would have did it under if I didn't ask you all those coaching-related questions. I'm really excited for this weekend. And I'm really excited to see if Big T shows up next week. Because if the Saints lay an egg, I think Big T is going to be one and done.
You can guarantee if I'm correct and we beat him, which is what was going to happen, you won't see T for a couple of weeks. He's going to need to mourn. Look, me, I'm accustomed to this. I'm used to this, but he actually thinks that we have no chance. And why he wouldn't come in here, I think he doesn't really believe that. That's all chess talk. He's nervous. The divisional round, they have laid an egg every single year. They're a regular season team only. Hell, they got an 80,000-yard passer. They have one title. They are a gross disappointment to NFL football. So I hope that we send Drew Brees to NBC. I'll pack his damn bags lovingly with bubble paper for him. I hate that guy.
Oh, man. So, hey, for the people that are also in the room virtually, Bannerman and Deye, Jerry Miller, and there's a few other folks. No Bannerman. I didn't say Brady has no chance. Come on.
I know you hate Brady, Ted. You have to.
You know I hate Brady. I mean, a lifelong Jets fan. So, but you give him that many weapons around him.
A lot of weapons.
That's a lot of weapons, man.
And the key to this game is the newest weapon. Antonio Brown, I think, is the key to the game.
Yeah.
I love Mike Evans. Lattimore does a really good job against him, and he's already hobbled with the knee already. So I really think Antonio Brown on their safeties and linebackers is really going to be where we win this game.
Bucko, I want to thank you for coming through, getting this done, getting this in under 35 minutes. Want to thank all the people in the room. Also, Bucko, where can we find you?
Find me on Twitter or Facebook at BuckoBruce83. All together. I curse a little bit more on Twitter than some people like, so take caution with that. But I'm very approachable. I'll debate anything. I love this stuff, man. That's what I
do. Jerry Miller says, "When are you on next?"
Whenever I want to be. Whenever Ted has me on. I personally don't have my own program. Me and Tori are in the talks of having one of those created. I'd love to interact with any of you guys, and you guys got a show, and follow me on here. And Ted's trying to coach me on this format. I really like the format. I like what it can bring, and
really appreciate it. I appreciate you, Bucko, you and your family. I appreciate the Happs community because you got good people on here like this. And we're gonna give it a shot. We'll give this a shot, and we'll see how far this takes us. But I'm really enjoying it.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you again. It's always a pleasure. This time next week, I'll be here.
Next week,
I'll be here, but I don't know if you'll have the other third.
So I'm booking you for next Thursday. God bless, man.
Same, brother. Love you.
All right. Love you, man.